and excited by AI, can see some of its challenges, but I'm excited. But you create an analogy of AI to, if I'm right, an asteroid hitting the Earth. What on earth is that about?
The meteor that killed the dinosaurs was a really asymmetric threat. Species had evolved over millennia to deal with the known predators, right? The giant dinosaur fish in the ancient seas. And most of those species died when the meteor struck because it was just such a different sort of threat they were not prepared for. And yet the octopus, this soft-shelled, rather defenseless creature, was able not only to survive, but to thrive as all of the pre-existing competitors were wiped out in this mass extinction event. It is super adaptable, which is one thing we can learn from it. We can also learn from its anatomy. But we see AI today as one of those mass extinction effects. It is going to change so much about marketplaces and the way companies do business and the way customers buy that if you're not ahead of that curve, you're probably going to be swamped by the wave that it creates.
So we're going to talk a lot more about octopuses, or octopi, should I say.
Octopuses, it is a Greek, not a Latin term. And so octopuses is proper.
So
Yes.
octopuses. But there's another creature that she's sort of opposed, or is the ammonite. Why did you select the ammonite, and what does that represent?
Well, I will admit the Ammonite was suggested to us by ChatGPT because we were looking for a foil. And I had never heard of the Ammonite, but ChatGPT had. So the Ammonites were plentiful in the ancient seas. There were actually over 10,000 species of Ammonites. And they're these very tightly coiled, thickly armored, nautilus-looking like animals that could range from a few inches to several feet in diameter. They were everywhere. And they had these great defenses against the known predators. However, those defenses, those giant shells actually became a prison when the meteor struck, because the meteor kicked up this humongous cloud of dust that covered the earth for 3 years. There was a lot of sulfur in that dust. The sulfur created acid rain, and the acid rain dissolved the shells of the young ammonites. So they all were very quickly wiped out. A lot of corporations are like the ammonites. We have very tightly armored, thickly armored defenses against the known predators. And then when the meteor strikes, the asymmetric threat, they're utterly unprepared to deal with the fallout.
Gotcha. So I'm hearing that, that honed on years of MPA in the 20th century, but just not suitable for what's going to come. So I think we've been talking about adaptive organizations, but your story is that AI is the catalyst for something that we've been feeling the need for, but is suddenly going to come.
That 100%, right? The internet wiped out some organizations. That's probably the closest thing in our lifetime to one of these meteor strikes. But AI has a much greater transformative potential than the internet. And so the mass extinction event is quite a threat, but it's also an opportunity for the octopuses out there as their known rivals get knocked out. There is a lot of additional room to grow for those who are prepared to adapt.